Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Formula One 2021 League. We are reaching the end of the season. This is Canada. It is race number 15. This is the penultimate race of the season. It's coming down to the wire. As always, I'm going to put up the points right here so you can see them. You can see after Bahrain, we had a bit of a shaky finish, but we are still ahead by, I think that was 38 points I said last time. I'm going to stick to it. And now we are also 32 points behind in the Constructors' Championship. So lots of work left to do on both fronts there, but this race I could secure the Drivers' Championship. If I get a decent finish here and I don't DNF, I think I need to DNF or come very close to getting no points, and Moroz gets first place, it will come down to the last race in Azerbaijan. But if I get any sort of points, I think above 5 or 6, I will secure it for myself, and that will be my championship. As far as racetracks go, I used to really love Canada. It's a lot of people's home race, obviously. So a lot of people like to race it if you're from Canada. I really used to like it, but as I turned down my assists and started actually taking the racing line rather than cheating like I did in offline mode, no, sorry, not to say that assists are cheating. I would literally drive across the grass and the game would not stop me doing it. Just to be clear on that. Once I started doing everything properly, this track became much harder. As I have a little bit of a stutter there, and the McLaren goes straight through my car. This game is weird. And then another stutter, and the McLaren suddenly years away from me. This game is really weird. Anyways, where was I? I don't even know. This track just got really slippery after I turned off the assist, so I have struggled, especially right here. I struggle to keep my grip. My back end loves to stick out, and I couldn't find a good balance of having traction and having speed, because the setup I had that stopped me from spinning, it was just not competitive whatsoever, it felt like. So this is the most balanced of the two I could get that has a good amount of speed and as much stability as I can have. But I actually go into this, and this is right after Bahrain, so I'm a little upset at myself for getting the two double warning on one track spot and losing an extra position, because I could have recovered that race really well. But I'm going to take a little bit of that intensity into this one as I invalidate my first lap. Not really caring too much. You can see I've put 6 laps of fuel into my car. So this is me just trying to get a feel for the track and make sure my setup is nice. But I'm kind of expecting to do really poorly. I actually think I'm probably going to hit the wall in this one, because the walls are very close on Canada, as you can see. And anywhere I slide out, it's just tire into the wall, race over. So a bit longer of an intro, but I want to set the standard of what's going to happen in this race and kind of how I'm going into this mentally. So let's go on to the first lap of qualifying. But first, before that, actually, a little bit of a close moment here at the pit lane.
This isn't a bad idea to practice the pitting, because I know you can't see where the line is until the last moment.
That's a tricky one.
Oh god. Oh! I didn't realize that the McLaren was also coming in.
Rip.
Thankfully neither of us hit each other. I think he was trying to figure out where it was as well.
A bit of a close call there between me and Basic. It's not a big deal. It looked like he was maybe going still on the circuit, but I think he was doing the same thing as me in where he was looking for where the pit lane braking spot was. It's very difficult to see because the braking line is right on top of the racing line, so it's hard to differentiate the two. So it's not his fault. It's not my fault. I just misjudged where he was going, but thankfully there's no damage for either of us, and I get to continue qualifying. Thankfully no DNF early for me. Onto my actual qualifying lap, you can see this doesn't look like a great qualifying lap in general. I'm 3/10 down on my current best, and I'm currently sitting in P6. It is not going well for me. As you can see that Sinful is ahead of me in 5th place, and he qualified on the mediums, which should be roughly a second slower than my softs, but obviously they're not. Obviously, I'm doing somewhat better at this point, but as I hit the hairpin, I lose a tenth. I get a little bit of an exit, so I save as much as I could. I managed to find 5/10ths during that lap, so you can see just how inconsistent I am. But now to the end of this long straight where most of the passing is going to happen, it's a super fast chicane. You can have a big issue here, and I get it just right. I'm not going to lose too much time. I'm actually going to gain a lot of time on the exit, and I'm going to end just under 3/10ths better, and I'm going to finish in 4th. But there's still 30 seconds left, and you can see there that my teammate did beat me, so I fall to 5th. It's probably my lowest start in quite a while, so it's going to be an interesting one for us as we have to dive through the pack in this race. Now, onto the race itself, you can see that my teammate is directly in front of me, which creates a bit of an awkward moment because I have the inside line, but I'm behind my teammate. So if I get a really good start, I might need to say to my teammate, hey, I'm going to pass you. If he has a good start, I'm going to slot in behind him. But we have to coordinate that within the first 5 seconds into the turn. So it's going to be really, really tricky as we start this race. And we get 5 red lights at Canada. And it's an amazing start by me. I'm immediately past my teammate, and I'm already threatening Checker into the first turn. I'm going to slow down here. He's going to have a faster outside line, so he's going to fight back, and I'm going to try and cut off as much space as he has on the outside. He has a big snap of oversteer, and now I'm going to stop right now. I want you to look at this moment and decide what you would do for yourself. There is a sharp right turn coming up ahead, and I am slightly ahead of Checker. But Checker is on my inside, so he might have a right to that corner, but I'm ahead, so I might have a right to that corner. These are the critical decisions you're going to have to make while racing in a split second. Would you, A, take the corner at full speed and try to give space to Checker, but know that you might risk him and you colliding and going off the track, one or both of you out of the race? Would you, B, give him the position because he has the inside line and try and slot behind him to mitigate how much time you're going to lose? Or C, would you slow down as much as you could and try and take it side by side into this corner, but know that you're going to lose time to both Chills and Moreau's, who are now flying way ahead of you because you had to brake even more than they did? Have a think about it. And tell me what you would do in that situation. I'm going to show you what I did here.
You passed me.
I have to let Checker go.
So I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I think you could definitely decide to go for this corner if you felt like you had the grip. I personally stick by what I did there. I don't think I lost too much time. You can see Checker, at least in this frame, is about 5/10ths ahead. I didn't lose too much time to Chills and Moreau's. We're doing our own different strategies, and I'm keeping position, and that's the main thing. The one threat I do have now that I let Checker have that position is I have Sinful right behind me, and then my teammate right behind him. So it's about to get very interesting here as we go into the corner, and you can see Sinful is right behind me. He's really, really close, and I just managed to hold the corner off, but I look behind me, and he obviously has an issue into the next corner, and that's Sinful not out of the race, but at the back of the pack, and that is our Constructors' Championship rival who is fallen down the list, and it's myself and my teammate in 4th and 5th. So now we can really put a push on the guys ahead of us and see if we can get some of those points we desperately need going into the final race. So a little bit of a jump ahead here, not too far. At this point, it's quite obvious, even though my start was really good, I'm kind of notorious for having good starts, as you've probably seen in the other videos. But right now, my teammate is obviously faster. He has a bit of an issue in that hairpin, but we're trying to see if he can pass me because he's catching up fast, and this is before DRS is activated. So I want to give him the greatest chance to get ahead here, but we're going to have to wait right now as I'm trying to get this corner nicely. I get track limits, a big slap of oversteer, and I'm going to go into the wall, and I just slow down enough that there's no damage on my car. Really fortunate, and it plays out that I end up giving my teammate track position anyways, but we both lose a little bit of time as he avoids me and I slow myself down with the best break of them all, the wall. So it's, it kind of works out. There's no damage, so we're still pushing forward at least. So now on to lap number 4. You can see that I'm so slow, I can't even stay in my teammate's DRS. I'm going to show this chicane as much as possible here just to show how fast you can go through it. And all of a sudden, I'm in a minefield as Chills obviously loses his wing and gets a 3-second penalty. And he's going to be very slow, so I need to get past him here without losing too much time. He holds to the inside, which is the proper thing to do there so everyone can go faster on the outside. Because with no wing, he's going to struggle to turn through these corners, and you'll see his time already a second behind me and just climbing. That's how reliant you are on your wings, so any damage that I could have had in that early incident might have even affected me by 2 or 3 tenths a lap, and I'm already 2 or 3 tenths a lap slower than everyone else, so no issue for us there, but that does put us up a place. So my teammate is now on the podium as it stands, and I'm in 4th, and I'm trying to close in to see if I can get DRS in him, and I'm going to push really hard here because I want to get it, and I just slip under, but I think I brake a little too late here, and I'm going to just fall out of the second as the DRS is that line right there. And I don't think I get it there. No, I don't. So I end up losing it, and it's a bit of a shame. But that's what I need to do to try and stay competitive in this race.
Oh, that's big.
Ken's going.
Oh no, Eric was behind me. Oh, there's the safety car. Nice.
There's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
So Eric has an incident and goes in the wall, and that's going to cause a full safety car here as me and my teammate are trying to coordinate how we are going to pit because we are both on the same tire strategy. And generally when you're on a team with someone else, you'll pit at different times so that you don't get delayed. But now this is the time to pit, so you can either stay out and know you're going to lose a lot of positions and a lot of time just going behind everyone, or you can double stack the pit. So you see my delta at the top. Of course, it's going to make me a liar right now as it goes into the red, but I'm going to give my teammate as much space as possible because I want to mitigate how much time I lose actually in the pits waiting for the mechanics to move out of the way and let me through. So I'm giving him a full second. It might seem counterintuitive for me to give the time just to lose the time in the pits, but you actually lose more time just like losing your momentum as you go into your pit box. So it's better that they get out of the way so you minimize it. And you'll see it here because almost everyone is going into the pits. No one loses time, but you'll see that Morose has gone on to the hards, and I'm going to explain that in a second. As you'll see, I lost very minimal time there. The time is standardized for league races, so it's 2.5 seconds for a pit stop, and I only lost 0.7. So even though I gave him 1.4 seconds of space, I actually only lost 0.7 in the pits. So it was good for me to do that there. So now on to Morose's strategy. So he started on mediums. Like I said in the qualifier, he was so much faster on the mediums, but you have to use 2 different compounds of tires to finish the race. So the only tire that's suitable right now is actually the mediums to go 11 laps. The softs are going to wear out really, really fast, and while they would make it to the end, I think he's going to lose too much pace at the end. We kind of talked about it after, and we agreed maybe the softs wouldn't have made it. It's really close. It's a tight decision. So he decides to go on to the only different compound that's available, which is the hards. Now, the hards could almost go this entire race because they're very durable, but they don't have as much grip as the softs or the mediums. So he's going to lose time now by going on the strategy, but he doesn't lose position. So that is his strategy going into this. So now we have someone who's in first place, I believe Morose is in, and he is on the slowest strategy. So he's going to slow down the cars behind him. So now it is on us to overtake everyone. As you can see, me and my teammate warming our tires, and we're going to do that for one more lap because it's going to stick out. So now to the critical part of the race, the safety car is coming to an end. We have a lot of time to warm up these tires. You can see my rears are really not coming up to temperature. I need to watch out because the racing's going to happen at some point, and if there's a stop, I'm going to be at the chicane when I try to do it, so I need to be very careful here. But I'm not leading it, so I don't get to decide, so we're going to try and take this apex as well as we can, try and keep it as safe as we can, and it's a pretty good one. We get a good exit here, and it looks like a very clean restart overall as Morose tries to take away far as he can, but Checker is right behind him on fresh mediums, and those hard tires, not only are they more durable but with less grip, they are harder to warm up. So it's a good chance that Moroz has colder tires than everyone else, meaning less grip, meaning he's slower in general. So this is a good time for me to match pace with everyone until DRS is reactivated. Just as a heads up, if you don't remember from the previous races, whenever there's a full safety car, the DRS is deactivated for the first 2 laps after the restart. So we will not be getting DRS until the start of lap 11.
So theoretically, if we play it this way, we both just keep up with them. I let you pass at the end as long as we keep the 3-second gap with you passing me. We go 1-2. We go 1-2 either way.
Yeah.
As long as their penalties stand.
I think what our game plan is that we keep overtaking each other on the back straight.
Yeah, when DRS is up.
Yeah,
it's
up now. It's up now. So I'll pass you on this one, and then you'll pass me on the next one. We'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, because we just get that sweet fucking slingshot over and over. I cooked that turn a little bit. Yeah, because I'm 4 tenths out from Checker right now.
Oh,
I'll stay on the right side after the activation. Feels unfair how clean that feels there.
Oh, it's double DRS detection. I forgot.
Yep.
They're also fighting ahead. Yeah,
So I'm
Checker got
guessing the
ahead.
penalties are legit.
Checker got ahead.
So I don't always show or have you guys hear what me and my teammate are saying. Usually I leave it in for punctuation notes just to show what we were thinking or saying at the moment. But I really wanted to highlight this. So this is how much talking we really do during the race, especially when we're racing close to each other. So now you can hear the strategy of us saying, hey, let's swap back and forth on the DRS straights. We won't fight each other, and we'll use the slipstream to keep up with the cars ahead of us, because the cars ahead of us are going to use the DRS to try and overtake each other. And usually there's a bit of fighting involved, whereas we can make it clean, and that can save us tenths on our lap times. And you can see that I am very fast. I'm catching up to these guys really quickly here, so I really want to pressure Moroz and Checker, who both have 3-second penalties. And that was another thing we were talking about, was that it doesn't matter which way we order it in terms of the constructors. My teammate and I can be first and second whichever way. I'm going to send a bit of a fake message there to Moroz. He knows I'm not really going for it, but it's worth a shot. It also slows me down a bit. I want to pressure Moroz. You can see he has under 10% battery. I'm going to use a bit of my battery anyways, because I want to stay close to him, and I want to potentially pass him as fast as possible, because now that Checker is in first, Moroz on his slower hards is now slowing down me and everyone behind me, whereas Checker could go flying away, and if he gets above the 3 seconds, his penalty won't matter. But as always, we are racing as if there's no penalties, so I'm assuming that these guys don't have 3-second penalties, and we are going to race as if we're going to just pass them and take first place. So always keep that in mind when you're seeing what decisions I'm making and why I'm passing people at certain points. So now on to lap number 15. I can tell by the way Moroz is positioning that he wants to get back in front of Checker, and I'm not surprised because I've been threatening to pass him for a little while, and he wants to make sure that he can keep a car between us. So I'm actually not going to use any battery here. I'm going to let him make the move. You can see his light flashing, and he's going to make a move in one of the trickiest parts to actually overtake, and it's on the chicane, and Moroz makes the move work, but Checker has such a slow line that I immediately get to attack Checker here because I have DRS again and Checker does not. So I'm going to take over on him in the first spot, the exact same as the first turn, and we get second place as of right now. So now we are still behind Moroz. Our game plan is the same. The only game plan that slightly shifts is my teammates. He now has to pass Checker, but that's okay because as long as their 3 seconds stick, it'll be okay. If not, even fourth place is a good finish for us. We're just a little further along on that lap, and now you can see on the straight, it's a bit of a reminder from Austria. Just look how much I'm closing on Moroz there. He's also almost out of battery, probably from trying to pass Checker, and Checker goes into the back of me. I was a bit slow through the chicane, and I think he had too much speed, and he goes in the back of me, and he spins, and again, I have no damage, but that is Checker out of the session, and now we are looking at a 2-3 position for me and my teammate, with Moroz having 3 seconds of penalties. So now it is very important. I believe I have 2 warnings at this point, so I cannot get another warning here. I have to play it very safe. But if everything stands right now, we're 1-2, and if his penalty gets removed, I'm going to try and pass him before then anyways.
I got the third warning. I don't get it.
A little bit of commentator's curse there as I get my third warning, and that's my penalty, so I'm a little upset at that. And Morose is braking a little harder than I expected, and I bump into the back of him. Still, somehow, no damage for me, and I'm okay. And I still have 40% battery. I can see his light flashing, so he's still using battery to stay ahead of me. This is where I've got to cool it, and there's no damage. I really need to make sure that I'm okay. And I go straight into the sign on the side. Those signs are meant to explode. Man, I was super scared, and I'm going to lose a lot of time to Morose, so now I have to use some of that battery I saved going into this turn.
Can you pull back a bit for me in the DRS zone?
I can. That's the last lap. Oh, he's 6 seconds penalties.
Okay, well...
But also, I don't think if he gets one removed, I have to try and pass him.
Race your race. That's what I'm doing. I'm just racing like there's no penalties.
If you stay within 2 seconds of me, you should be okay. Just throw everything on that last straight.
So because Morose got his next 3-second penalty right there, if he gets one warning removed, we are on par if I can't remove mine. So it's all going to come down to this last straight. I know he's got a fairly low battery, but it must be a little above 10%, so I'm going to immediately turn on my battery, 40% to work with, DRS activated, and we're going to push everything we can. His light starts flashing. We still have 20%. We're going to have a look on the inside here. I'm going to see if I can make it. The end's coming. I can't do it. I have to tuck behind him. Go into the straight now. We get a really clean exit, and I'm going to throw everything I can. DRS again. We're going to go side by side right across the line, and I'm going to beat him by 0.03 of a second to take second place, actually, because my teammate, after penalties, takes first. It's his first pole position, first place win of the season, and we get the 1-2 finish that we need to stay competitive in this race. What a crazy finish. Now, I will say, just so we can calm down a little bit, Morose did not get his one of his 3 seconds removed, but you can see there on the top left, I beat him by 3.033 seconds. So if he did get it removed, it would have been 0.033. That's how tight the margin was. But he does fall to third. I fall to second. Phil, he's in first place, and that means, and I'm going to put the points up right here, you can see after Canada, we are at 220 points. The max points you can get in a race is 21, meaning that we have won the Drivers' Championship. We have secured it now before the final race. It's a huge, huge win for us, but almost more importantly, the amount of points we gained there changed our difference in the constructors from a 32-point difference to only 13 points, meaning we put up, 19 points there. So if we can do something similar in the last race, we will win the constructors. So it's all going to come down to that. I really want to thank you, as we get to see for one of the first times, I think, I don't know if he's finished on podium yet, my teammate hoisting the trophy with me in second place. What a great feeling to see both Williams there up on the podium. Hope you guys enjoy this. It's all going to come down to last race next week. If you haven't noticed, I'm scheduling these to come out every Friday, so I'll see you next Friday when you guys watch this, and I hope to see you guys there. Thanks again for watching, and have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Headphone warning, but let's go! Let's fucking go!
Yo!
Speed! Let's go!
Holy fuck, that was the closest, so take away Moreau's 3-second penalty, look how close he is to me.
Oh my god, you still edge him.
300.
Let's fucking go.
Holy fuck, man.